Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Greene County Express Amy Hawk Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the South Greene Lady Rebels softball team. As always, I'm joined here with Lady Rebels head coach Amy Hawk and a cast of Lady Rebel players. Coach, how are we doing this morning?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing well, as always. Glad to be in here with you again. We've got, I guess, 3 sophomores today. You've told me you've got a very large sophomore class, so we're going to have to split it a little bit. So go ahead and introduce yourselves one by one.
Nevaeh Davis.
Whitney Reeves.
Paisley Burbank.
Another week of softball through. We got 3 games to talk about. We originally had 5, but with the week we've had a lot of postponements, a lot of cancellations. It's just always how it is during spring, it seems. But we'll go through the 2 with Jeff County that you had on Saturday and the big conference win over Hampton. Take me through those 3 games. I know the Jeff County doubleheader didn't go your way, but a big win over Hampton and an important one to boost you to 5-0.
Went to Jeff County on Saturday, and I knew they had a good team. We had seen them in the preseason over at Cherokee. And the first game, 7-2, but I felt like it could have been 7-4. Missed out on a couple opportunities for runs there. But the second game, they run-ruled us. I think it was 15-0. They started hitting, and we never really caught fire with our hitting that day. And, you know, sometimes that's how it goes with softball. Then we had our game got canceled with West Greene, and Wednesday we were able to get that game in with Hampton, and that score was 21-5. We hit the ball really well that day, and they had some good hits, you know, put some runs on the board, but we were able to beat them in 5. Had to play on a Wednesday, and we have that rule where you have to be done by 6 o'clock, and it was pretty much 6 o'clock on the dot. I actually made one of my girls leave the base too soon so that we could go ahead and get an out because it was getting close. And I felt like we had the defense to hold them. You know, had something crazy would have happened, I guess I would have had to break that rule. But it was right on time.
It worked out in your favor.
Yeah, it did. And then we got rained out. We tried yesterday with Chucky Doak right up until 4 o'clock. Coach Ward over there, he's like, let's just try it. You know, we're not that far away. And I hated that they got over here, but it was the right call because I think I looked at my watch and it was 4:38 and it came in absolute downpour and my field was already saturated. So there's still puddles out there today. So, and it's supposed to have Greenville today, and I looked at their field last night. I don't think it's looking good, but, you know, I don't know what their ground crew can do.
You never know. I was impressed you got to play on Wednesday because I did an interview here during the day on Wednesday, and I think, did you work on the field any Wednesday before the game, or was that Dalton?
Let me just say that the baseball team came through for us. I owe them one. I have some kids that went down there in about 11. We had to wait until it stopped raining. And it was around 10:30 when it quit raining, and I got my group, my boys that usually help me about 11:30, and they went down there, I think, or maybe it was a little bit before. They started sprinkling the field dry on there. And we were trying to let that, you know, soak up as much as we could. And then Dalton got down there, I don't know, around 1 or something like that. And I don't know that I really had to lift a finger. I was very fortunate that day. He took charge. And then the next thing I know, the whole baseball team is down there working, and they really came through.
Well, they didn't have anything to do that day either.
Well, that's what they said. But they didn't have to do that. They could have left. But
hey, they helped you and you got your game in. It was an important conference win, too.
It was a big win. It was nice.
I know we talked about last week, you had the possibility of coming in here and talking about you being 7-0. Unfortunately, those 2 games with West Greene and Chucky Doak didn't happen in that time frame, but you did get that one over Hampton. You sit at 5-0 now. How good does that feel to be undefeated still this far into the league play?
Well, I'm not comfortable.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm happy to be 5-0. I'm not saying that. I'm grateful, but I don't get comfortable. Anything can happen. We still have some big games coming up. I don't feel like we're cruising by any means. I feel like when you get complacent, then you're going to lose to somebody maybe that you're not supposed to because they're going to be hungry and they want it more than you. So I'm never comfortable.
I know one thing I always talk about her each week is the conference games are the ones that matter the most, and I'm sure she's reiterated that to you guys too. How important was it for you all to get out there on Wednesday and get that big win over Hampton?
I just think that, you know, it's good for us to go and deliver a win, and we just got to keep doing that every single week that we play, every game that we play. Just have the same mindset and stay hungry and don't be content with where we're at.
I agree with that, but I feel like if we get comfortable where we're at, which I don't think we ever should. And then we come and get beat by a team that's not really on our level or that's below our level. It could get really bad. So I think we really need to stay hungry and we don't need to get comfortable.
I think we should keep going in thinking, oh, we're going to beat them by 15. Let's just stay in our lane and just be like, let's win this game.
Does she reiterate that mindset into you all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the mindset you have going into each game? Is that kind of the pregame speech that you give them?
I've always, as a player, a coach, I always go into every game thinking I can win it.
I mean, you have to. If you don't, then why are you playing?
Well, I mean, you have to believe you can win or
Absolutely.
you won't.
That's true. You always go in there kind of preaching the mindset of, hey, don't let them get comfortable, don't let them get close.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big pregame speech giver or anything like that. We just kind of do our thing. We go through our warm-ups and we try, just to keep everything, I guess, normal, but just do what we do. And to me, every game's big. You're keeping score. Of course, conferences are bigger than non-conference, but I want to go into every game with the mindset that we can win and believe that we can win, and have confidence.
Do you have any pregame speeches? Is there anybody that does give any, or is it just go out there and play?
I think they do little things in maybe their own little group chat or whatever, and I'm sure they say things to one another. I'm usually busy doing either trying to get the gate taken care of or the concession stand or the lineups or, making sure, everything's ready, I guess, in that respect. But I kind of leave it up to the girls to get themselves ready. I'm not a cheerleader. So I just want them to come in focused. Don't get distracted by things that don't really matter. And if I feel like that's kind of going on, I might, hey, girls, remember what we're doing, get out there and go through your warm-ups. But I'm not really a big pregame speech giver, a rah-rah kind of person.
Who produces the most energy in the dugout?
Oh, I don't know.
You can name 2 or 3. I think that would be better.
Well, Katie, of course, with her bark.
Yeah. Has she started the barking again this year?
Oh, yeah, we've heard
Okay.
her barking. Haven's pretty vocal. Alexis is vocal, seniors. I mean, as a whole, the girls, the freshmen, not so much. But pretty much all the girls they're pretty vocal and they get into it. You can tell when things aren't going right. Sometimes we kind of shut down a little bit and lose our confidence or pout, what I call it, or get our head down, and usually somebody tries to pick them up, and some are better than getting over things than others. Sometimes some of them make one mistake and it ruins their whole game. But with sports, you can't allow yourself to get in that kind of mind frame, and that can rub off on other people too. But they're usually pretty good about picking each other up.
It's been a weird week for you, to say the least. I mean, you had the 2 games on Saturday against Jeff County, and then I think you went into each day this week not knowing what to expect with the weather. Hopefully it's not like that next week, because looking at your schedule next week, it's jam-packed. I think you've got 4 games in the first 4 days of the week. We'll go ahead and take a break first before we jump into that, so we'll be right back in just a minute after these messages here on Grassroots Media.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greeneville, Tennessee.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greeneville.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Roberts with Southland Equipment. No matter how big or how small the job might be,
We've got the right equipment to get the job done.
We
have one of the area's largest and best inventory of new Massey Ferguson Premier, Cub Cadet, and Bush Hog tractors and mowers. Our Will Stock Parts department has everything you need. Belts, blades, hoses, and filters. From 1 horse to 120 horses, we'll take care of you in our service department. Hay equipment, we do that too.
Whether you have 1 acre or 1,000, come by and see us at Southland Equipment.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Greene County Express Amy Hawk Show, where we cover everything on the diamond with the South Greene Lady Rebels softball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Amy Hawk and a cast of Lady Rebels. So you've got a jam-packed week coming up next week. But before we get into that, today on Friday, the day we're filming this and this airs, you've got a doubleheader with Greeneville that's scheduled for the moment. By the time this airs, of course, that could change because of the rain yesterday and everything there. So with Greeneville today, it's a doubleheader. Preview what you expect in that rivalry game against the Lady Devils.
They're always tough, and it's always been a big, rival for us here in county versus, the city team or whatever. And they've had good teams for, forever, I guess. And I want to go in there and compete with them. I watched them play Granger one day. They're tough. Our game was canceled, so I thought, let me just go see if they're playing, and they were. It was actually a beautiful day. Probably should have played. I think it was maybe, I don't know. I can't remember the circumstances.
It's been about
before.
a week and a half ago since that game.
I can't remember the circumstances of what happened. But anyway, I expect us to, go in there and compete.
And then moving forward into next week, you've got a lot of games. I know you mentioned to me in the break that it always seems like this time of year around Tiny Day, you play so many games in so many days. And the first 4 days of next week, you've got regular season games against University High, Happy Valley, Cotton County, and Chucky Doak. You play here at home against University High on Monday in a doubleheader. You play a league game at Happy Valley on Tuesday, a non-con game against Cotton County here at home on Wednesday, and then another conference game against Chucky Doak here on Thursday. Take me through what you expect going into next week. I know you've got, 5 games in 4 days right there. How do you plan on staying fresh and kind of going through each day?
Well, I would rather play as practice anytime. I think softball practice is boring. That's the coach's fault. But I like what you said, non-con.
You've never heard non-con?
I've never said non-con before.
Really?
It's going to be the word of the day now, non-con.
Non-con, awesome.
And we've got some cons and some non-cons.
Always.
So, yeah, I like that. As far as staying, fresh and ready, I feel like, you've got to go into each game with energy and take care of yourself, making sure you're getting plenty of rest and doing all those kinds of things. When you're a student athlete, that's just a part of the story.
Mm-hmm. So you've got, Happy Valley on Tuesday on the road, and then Chucky Doak here at home on Thursday. That's the game from last week that got pushed this week, or this coming week, correct?
Yes.
Both of those are conference games. I know both of those are important, as always. Talk about each team and what you expect out of each team when you go into those games.
We have played Happy Valley already. We had a good game against them. I would expect when we go up there on Tuesday that it'll be a lot tougher at their place. I just think they didn't have a good game, so I think they're a little better than maybe what the score showed. I kind of skipped over University High that we have a doubleheader with on Monday. We used to always play them and have battles with them when we were single A, and they had really tough teams. I honestly don't know anything about them right now. I feel like it'll be a competitive day. Cotton County, I'm sure they're pretty tough. I feel like when you have a coach calling you wanting to play, plus it's pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we usually try to play them because it is close, and I don't know anything about them, really haven't looked up their record. I try to know some things ahead of time before we play, but playing so many games in a row, I can't always look far enough ahead. We have not seen Chucky Doak yet.
Which is odd. Usually this far into the season you do.
Yes, and we have scrimmaged them, but they didn't have their full team. They had a bomb threat that day. And the kids couldn't get back in to get their stuff. We said we were going to cancel, and Gene said, I've got 8 girls that said they can get over there. So by the time he came, he didn't even have a full team. So I don't know that scrimmage was, indicative of what they really have or, their full team.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's been up and down a little bit, but I know that they'll definitely compete when they come, or here when they come on Thursday.
And then the Tiny Day tournament following that Chucky Doe game on Thursday. I know the Tiny Day tournament is something that we've talked about the past 2 years, and we'll go into talking about it the third year that we sit down for these interviews now. We'll go ahead and preview it just a little bit. Take me through the Tiny Day tournament this year and what you expect, the teams that you play if you know, and the times and kind of everything that is involved with the Tiny Day tournament this year.
Tim gave me the schedule yesterday, and I glanced at it, and I can't name you every team, but I can tell you that it will be the toughest teams that we have played all year. I remember Morristown West Volunteer off the top of my head, and I can't remember the other two, but we'll have to bring our A game.
It's usually how it is every year in the Tiny Day tournament.
Yeah, they have the toughest competition, I feel like, in the area.
I would have to agree with that. For you all, I know it's a jam-packed week next week, as we talked about, games Monday through Thursday, and then you jump right into the Tiny Day tournament. For you all, how do you all stay fresh in that type of situation where you're going back to back to back to back days playing games?
Just sorry. Just stay rested and stay focused. We got to wake up every day and just deliver, and when we get up there, we've just got to do what we know how to do and just play the game.
I say stay well rested. If you've got something that's bothering you, fix it. Something's wrong, fix it. You can't always do everything you can, but whatever you can do to fix something, you need to fix it.
Get enough sleep, definitely. Stay in the right mindset, and just staying focused that all week. You just need to stay well rested and stay focused. I think that's one of the main two.
Having this many games and this many days, do you kind of like that coming around to the postseason?
I feel like playing in games is a better preparation than practice when you're coming into the tournament. I guess it can be a double-edged sword too when you're not getting to rest, but I feel like with the rainouts that we've kind of had this week, we did practice on Monday, the Eclipse Day. We did get to practice that day, and then we played on Wednesday, but other than that, we've not really got to play, and we've not practiced. So I feel like you've got to take those opportunities to rest when you get a chance. And I don't know what the forecast holds for next week, but if there's a day when it gets rained out or canceled, that's just a good rest day.
Did you all get out of school for the eclipse?
We got out half a day.
How awesome was that? You got out for school and you couldn't even see it.
I didn't even come to school.
That's even better. You couldn't see it out this way, I'm assuming, right?
No.
Cloudy the whole time. Yeah. It's disappointing, but with the games against Happy Valley and Chucky Doe next week, we talked about on the back half how good it was to get that win over Hampton. How good would it feel for you guys to get those wins over Happy Valley and Chucky Doe next week and to boost your conference record to 7-0 this far into the season?
I think it's very important. We want to go and win every game that we play and just continuing to win. We're on a streak right now. Just kind of keep that going.
Mm-hmm.
One game. We're on a one-game streak.
Like conference. We're on it.
It is a pretty big
count the
conference streak.
non-cons.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
not the
It's okay.
non-cons.
It's a conference streak. We'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
we
we'll
just
say conference streak.
Yeah.
It's a
just-
con streak.
It's a con streak. There we go.
With our con streak we got going, I think that I love playing conference games in county, out of county. I just love playing conference, and getting wins over that would be really big to continue our con streak.
There ain't no if about it. We're gonna win, cause y'all got this. I'll be there cheering you on. Hopefully, I'll be back soon. So.
I see you got the Mountain Dew for the first time this year.
Well, it's not the first time. It's first time.
First time it's been sitting on the table, I think.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous about today, so I feel like I might need a shot.
Yeah.
Your
Because of the
magic
non-con
juice.
game.
Yeah, the non-con game. Two
It's a
non-con
tough
games. Yeah,
two tough non-con games.
for sure. Mountain Dews. I know we talked about last week with the girls. We talked about their favorite sodas.
Yeah.
I want to ask them. I kind of want to have a list
Oh,
of all their
okay,
favorite
yeah.
sodas this year. So we got to go back week one, and I'm going to have you ask those three if they can name you their favorite sodas. But for you three, what are your favorite sodas?
Sprite.
Right, that's
Dr. Enough.
okay.
Coke.
Okay, we get three different answers this week. Usually we get two of the same or something. But what do you think is the one that a lot of the girls would pick?
What do I think they would pick? I want to say, I just feel like this whole school loves Dr. Enough.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I feel
So
like
I'm gonna
the
go
most
with the Dr. Enough.
the most safe answer would say Dr. Enough.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the poll.
Is there anybody else that loves Mountain Dew as much as you do on the team?
Not that I know of.
No one can beat her.
Could nobody come close to your love for Mountain Dew?
Well, hopefully they don't drink sodas. I don't know.
That's true. Gatorades. We'll say Gatorades. What's your favorite Gatorades?
I
Oh,
can't drink Gatorade when I play. I gotta drink
really?
water. Yeah.
Okay.
That ice cherry.
Ooh, that's strawberry
Is that-
lemonade.
You like
Yeah.
strawberry lemonade Gatorade?
Yeah.
No, I had it.
Frosted
so
cherry or something like that.
Is
It's
that the white one?
It's a white one.
Yeah, that was
that's
good.
the one I
Glacier
like.
cherry.
Glacier cherry.
Yes, that was
That's my
good.
favorite Gatorade.
You have a favorite one?
I don't care. I just
Just
need
any
to
Gatorade?
drink.
Fair enough there. Is there any? Do you have any specific waters that you like more than any others?
Just
Whatever
ice.
the cheap water that my dad buys from the Walmart.
Yeah, that's the best way to say it. What was Coach Hosey saying? His favorite ones are the ones that are on sale.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
That's
so.
whether he drinks Coke or Pepsi.
Yep,
Whichever
whichever one's on sale.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smart mindset, but I think it's all we've got today. Hopefully we get to play today. I guess by the time this airs, we'll find out. But hopefully you get both games in with Greenville today, Coach. As always, it's been fun sitting down with you again, getting 3 more ladies on screen. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Greene County Express Amy Hawk Show. We look forward to seeing y'all next time here on Grassroots Media.
Thank you.